I've been the personal bodyguard to the daughter of New York's richest man for a full 10 years straight. 10 years where I've taken bullets for her, been stabbed, stopped a kidnapping, and cleaned up her drama with spoiled trust fund idiots. If she said she wanted pastries from the Carlisle at midnight, I'd drive 20 miles through a damn storm to get them. If she had a fever, I'd stay up all night letting her use me like a human pillow. Everyone said I was the Vanderbilt family's most loyal dog, and even the heiress herself, Chloe, believed it. But on my 30th birthday, staring at all those work-related scars in the mirror, I was suddenly done with this crap. Completely over it. I wanted to get married. I wanted a home that was actually mine. So yeah, I secretly signed up for a dating site. The day we met, the woman was gentle and shy. "I hear you work for the Vanderbilt heiress," she said. "That's so impressive." For once, I felt calm. I even smiled. "You think so? I'm actually planning to quit." The very next second, the restaurant's glass door got kicked open. Chloe Vanderbilt stood there with 8 bodyguards in black suits behind her, murder written all over her face. Her eyes were bloodshot as she flipped our table, grabbed my tie, her voice shaking hard. "Who gave you permission to quit? Who gave you permission to go on a date? I've owned you for 10 years. How dare you throw me away for someone else? My name is Ethan, and I'm Chloe Vanderbilt's personal bodyguard. Today is my 30th birthday. I had just dealt with 2 drunk trust fund idiots trying to harass her, and was back in the security lounge when my phone lit up with a direct deposit alert. A second later, an iMessage came in from Chloe's assistant. "Ethan, Chloe says thanks for your hard work tonight. The bonus has been wired. Make sure you got it." I stared at the line of zeros on the screen and felt absolutely nothing. It all felt pointless. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Chloe herself. "Ethan, are those 2 morons dealt with?" "They're dealt with." What a buzzkill. They totally ruined my beauty sleep. "This afternoon you're coming with me to the Bulgari launch." I hesitated for a few seconds. "Hello," she snapped. "Are you deaf?" "Miss Vanderbilt," I said, my voice a little hoarse. "Today's my birthday. Could I take the afternoon off? I want to visit my parents' graves." She paused, then scoffed. "Ethan, are you serious? They've been dead for years. What's the point? Be in the garage at 3 sharp. Be late, and I'll dock your bonus." The line went dead. I held the phone, listening to the dial tone before slowly lowering my hand. The man in the mirror was 30. A nasty scar ran from the corner of his right eye to his temple. A souvenir from 3 years ago, when I shielded Chloe from a shattered glass bottle. She had screamed then, not because of me, but because 2 drops of my blood splashed onto the hem of her dress. "Ethan, you're disgusting. This dress is haute couture. Your salary for 3 months couldn't even cover it." Later, she had her assistant wire me $50,000, like my permanent scar, and her dress had the same price tag. That morning, I spent 2 hours at the cemetery. I brought white lilies for my parents. They were smiling softly in the photo on the headstone. If they were still alive, they'd be nagging me to get married, have kids, and live a quiet, normal life. That afternoon, the Bulgari launch was packed with celebrities. Chloe worked the room like a pro, bouncing from group to group. I stayed glued to her side, scanning every face. Some B-list actor tried to flirt with her, and I blocked him with my arm. He glared at me. "Who the hell are you?" Chloe turned and giggled. "Oh, that's just my family's dog. He's super protective. Don't mind him." A few people laughed. I stood there stone-faced as chatter crackled through my earpiece. "Hear that, Ethan? The heiress called you a dog again. You'll get used to it." At 11 p.m., I was driving a drunk Chloe back to the mansion. She was sprawled in the back seat when she suddenly kicked my chair. "Ethan, I'm thirsty. I want tea from that lodge upstate, the one with spring water." I checked the time. "Miss Vanderbilt, that lodge is in the Catskills. It's a 2-hour round trip, and they close at 1 a.m. "I don't care," she yelled. "Go now, or you're fired." I didn't say a word. I just turned the car around. When I got there, of course it was closed. I begged the night manager for 30 minutes before he sold me the last pot of tea. I kept it warm in a thermos the whole drive back, only to find Chloe dead asleep. I stood outside her bedroom holding the thermos, then gently set it on the carpet. The next day was my day off. I quietly went to a coffee shop for the date the site had set up. Her name was Sarah, an elementary school teacher with a kind face and a soft voice. "So what do you do for a living, Mr. Kane?" she asked. I hesitated. "Private security consultant." She nodded. "Sounds intense. You must be busy." "Pretty much." I'm always on call. She understood. I teach seniors, so I'm always working late too. We actually clicked. When she heard my parents were gone, her eyes filled with sympathy. If you ever want a home-cooked meal, you can call me. I make a really good pot roast. Her warm smile melted something frozen inside me. We agreed to meet again next week, and for the first time in forever, I felt light. That feeling died the moment I stepped outside. My phone exploded with calls. It was Chloe screaming. Where the hell are you? Get your ass to Fifth Avenue right now. If you're not here in 10 minutes, you're fired. I clenched my jaw and grabbed a cab. On the luxury floor, Chloe was losing it on a sales clerk. What kind of trash store is this? How could you sell the bag I wanted to someone else? Do you know who I am? I'll shut this place down. The clerk looked ready to cry. Miss Vanderbilt, this customer reserved it. A timid woman stood nearby, shaking. I rushed over. Miss Vanderbilt, what's going on? Chloe grabbed my sleeve. Ethan, she took my bag. Get it back. The woman whispered. I reserved it a month ago. Chloe raised her hand to slap her. I caught her wrist. Miss Vanderbilt, we're in public. Think about your image. She shot me a deadly look. Whose side are you on? I should have gotten a dog. At least dogs know who feeds them. The manager finally smoothed things over, promising another bag. Chloe stormed out, dragging me along. In the car, she snatched my phone. Let's see what was so important. Before I could stop her, she unlocked it. My stomach dropped. She saw my messages with Sarah and the dating reminder. The air froze. You went on a date? She hissed. I gripped the wheel. Miss Vanderbilt, I'm 30. Wanting a family is normal. She laughed coldly. A family? You belong to me. Without us paying you, you're nothing. I took a breath. I'm your employee. When my contract ends, I'm resigning. Her eyes burned. Resign? Ethan, you're dreaming. You owe me a debt you'll never repay. After that, I was locked away. The basement had no windows, just one dim bulb. I lost track of time. Cold leftovers showed up occasionally. On the third night, the door opened, and Chloe stumbled and drunk. She kicked my leg. Learn your lesson yet? I did nothing wrong, I said quietly. I just want to get married. She snapped. That teacher? I sent people to her school. If she sees you again, she can kiss her job goodbye. I shot my head up. Come after me. Leave her out of this. Her eyes instantly filled with tears. Her voice was a nasty mix of pain and rage. You're yelling at me because of her? I've owned you for 10 damn years. Are those 10 years worth less than some woman you just met? She threw herself at me, fists slamming into my chest. I'll show you. You want to get married? You belong to me. I let her blow off steam until she was completely worn out. Then I spoke, my voice rough and stripped raw. Miss Vanderbilt, I've taken 3 knives for you and pulled you out of 7 different disasters. Every bonus you ever gave me, I saved every cent. Is that enough to pay back the life I owe you? She froze, staring at me like she was seeing me for the first time. After a long, heavy silence, she laughed, sharp and broken. She leaned in close, her breath reeking of whiskey. Ethan, let me tell you something. It'll never be enough. You'll owe me into your next life. She stood up and looked down at me with ice-cold eyes. Public school teacher in Queens. Parents living in some old apartment complex on the west side. Right. You've got 2 choices. Go back to being my loyal dog, or watch her entire family get wrecked because of you. She turned and walked out, the lock clicking shut behind her. I sat there in the dark, the scratches on my neck burning like hell, but that pain was nothing compared to the freezing despair crawling through my chest. On the 4th morning, the door opened again. It was Chloe's assistant, Miss Davis, carrying a tray with a full breakfast and a first aid kit. Ethan, you should eat something. Miss Vanderbilt wants you cleaned up. You're accompanying her to the stables this afternoon. I looked up. She's letting me out? Miss Davis avoided my eyes. She said to give you time to think. As long as you apologize and promise never to bring up dating or marriage again, she'll act like none of this ever happened. You'll still be head of Vanderbilt security. She's even offering to double your salary. I stared at her. And if I refuse? She lowered her voice. Ethan, why make it harder? You know her temper. She really did send someone to Sarah's school yesterday. They didn't do anything, but it was a clear warning. You can't fight her on this. Just give in. You've been with her for 10 years. I closed my eyes. 10 years. For 10 straight years, I'd orbited her like some loyal moon, totally forgetting I was supposed to have my own damn life. That afternoon, I showered, put on a clean suit, and turned back into the flawless head of Vanderbilt security. When Chloe saw me, a satisfied smile crept across her face. "So, you finally come to your senses?" I opened the car door without saying a word. "After you, Miss Vanderbilt," she hummed as she got in, clearly pleased. "I knew you couldn't leave me. Tonight you're coming to a charity gala. There's an auction. See something you like, and I'll buy it for you. Consider it compensation for the past few days." Her tone was unusually gentle. I just kept my head down. The sun was blazing at the stables. Chloe rode her thoroughbred for a few laps, then dismounted, cheeks flushed. She tossed the reins at me. "Walk him for a bit. He's jumpy today, so don't screw up." The horse was clearly agitated, snorting and stamping. I walked him around the paddock twice and was about to hand him off to a stable hand when a car backfired loudly in the distance. The horse reared, yanking the reins from my hands and charging straight at Chloe. It was about to trample her. Pure instinct kicked in. I dove and shoved her out of the way. A heavy hoof smashed into my chest. I heard the sickening crack of my ribs, then pain exploded everywhere. As I flew through the air, the last thing I saw was Chloe's horrified face, her hand reaching for me. Before everything went black, I felt someone cradle my head. Something warm and wet dripped onto my face. I heard her screaming, her voice breaking apart. "Ethan, don't you die? I forbid you to die. Do you hear me? If you die, I'll make Sarah and her whole family pay." Then nothing. I woke up in a VIP hospital room. My chest was wrapped so tight that every breath felt like torture, sweat breaking out cold on my skin. Chloe sat in a chair by the bed, her eyes red and swollen. "Are you completely useless?" she snapped. "You can't even handle one horse." I almost got trampled. I struggled to speak, my throat burning. "Are you okay, Miss Vanderbilt?" She snorted. "What would be wrong with me? You're the one with 3 broken ribs." The doctor said, "You'll be bedridden for at least 3 months." She poked my forehead. "You did this on purpose, didn't you, Ethan? Trying to pull some sympathy card and make me feel bad." I closed my eyes, not even bothering to argue. The doctor added, "Another half hour and you would have been dead. The hoof missed your heart by less than an inch. You're lucky." I stared at the ceiling. "Yeah, lucky. After 10 years of taking hits for you. I guess even the Grim Reaper felt bad for me." Her face went stiff, like I'd hit a nerve. She shot to her feet. "Who is that sarcasm for, Ethan? Isn't saving me literally your job?" She stormed out, slamming the door. I listened to her heels fade down the hallway and slowly exhaled. She'd smashed my phone, so I had no idea how Sarah was doing. Chloe came back that night, drunk again. She stumbled to my bedside and grabbed my arm. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I was just scared." Her voice was thick with tears. "When you pushed me today, it was just like that time in the alley 10 years ago. But this time, you were just lying there. You wouldn't wake up no matter how much I screamed. I thought you were dead." I watched her in silence. It was the first apology I'd heard from her in 10 years, and I felt absolutely nothing. "You're drunk, Miss Vanderbilt." She shook her head desperately. "I'm not. Please don't quit. Don't date anyone. I'll stop being angry all the time. I'll give you a raise. I'll give you whatever you want." She clung to me, making frantic promises. I gently pulled my arm free. "I'm tired, Miss Vanderbilt. 10 years is a long time. Please just let me go." Her crying stopped instantly. She looked up, eyes blazing. "You want to leave this badly, for that school teacher? What does she have that I don't? You could have anything." I looked her straight in the eye. Word for word, she gives me dignity. It was like I'd slapped her. Her face went pale. "Are you saying I don't give you dignity? Ethan, be honest. Have I ever treated you badly? You go to the best places, wear designer clothes, drive luxury cars." I cut her off. "And I'm still just a bodyguard. Still the family dog, in your own words." She jumped to her feet. "You want dignity? Fine. Without the Vanderbilts, you're nothing. Do you think Sarah would still want you if she knew you were just a veteran with a high school diploma? What's she after, your scarred face or the blood money you earn?" She slammed the door and disappeared. I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. Chloe never visited, but her assistant brought expensive supplements every day. By the 3rd week, I could walk. When the nurse wasn't looking, I slipped out and found a payphone to call Sarah. "Hello." Her voice sounded exhausted. "Sarah, it's me. Ethan." The line went silent for a moment. Then her voice came back cold and distant. "Mr. Kane, is there something I can help you with?" "I'm sorry I disappeared. I was injured." She cut me off. "I know. Your employer told me. Chloe talked to you. Did she threaten you? Sarah gave a bitter laugh. Mr. Kane, we shouldn't see each other again. I just want a quiet, normal life. I can't afford to get dragged into your world. The line went dead. I stood there holding the receiver for a long time. On the way back, I bought a new phone and a new SIM. The second I turned it on, dozens of messages flooded in, all from Chloe. How dare you sneak out of the hospital? Get back here right now. I swear I'll cut off your medical payments. The last one was from 10 minutes ago. You want to see her? You've got a death wish. I deleted every message and blocked her number. When I got back to my room, Chloe was sitting on the edge of my bed, her face dark with fury. Where were you? I ignored her and lay back down. She lunged forward and grabbed my hospital gown collar. I asked you something. Did you go see Sarah? Are you really willing to die for some woman? This is my personal time, I said calmly. I don't need to report my movements to you. She was shaking with rage. Fine, Ethan. You think you're so tough now. Don't forget, you're still under contract. I can sue you for every damn thing you own. I shut my eyes. Do whatever you want. She went full meltdown mode, smashing anything in the room she could grab. At the end, she pointed a trembling finger at me. You just wait. I'll make that Sarah run out of New York. My eyes snapped open. Chloe, you touch even one hair on her head, and I swear. She gave me this icy, ruthless smile. One phone call, and I can have her whole family on their knees, begging. I pushed myself up, ignoring the fire ripping through my chest, and stared her straight down. And do you really believe that before you do that, I can't destroy you? You know exactly how many of your dirty little secrets I've buried for you over the last 10 years. Her eyes blew wide. Ethan, are you threatening me for her? Even a trapped animal bites back, Miss Vanderbilt. I might have been your dog for 10 years, but that doesn't mean I forgot how to bite. Her face drained of color as she stepped back. You're insane. I'll tell my father. He'll make sure you never work in this city again. I actually smiled. Please do. I'm sure Mr. Vanderbilt would love hearing what his precious daughter's been up to, like that DUI 3 years ago I took the fall for, or the fake painting you swapped at last year's charity auction. She froze, staring at me like I was a total stranger. Then she spun around and bolted, slamming the door behind her. The day I was discharged, Chloe wasn't there. Miss Davis handled the paperwork and handed me a new phone from Miss Vanderbilt. She said to take all the time you need to recover. Your leave is indefinite, and your salary will keep coming. She said to call her once you've had time to think. I didn't even touch the phone. Thank her for the offer, but it's not needed. I'll wire the money for breaking my contract, and my resignation letter will be in her inbox shortly. Ms. Davis looked stunned. Ethan, are you serious? She cried all night after that hospital day. She really does care about you. I cut her off. Miss Davis, you've been with her 5 years. How many times has she thrown something at you? She went quiet. I tapped her shoulder. Find a way out. Don't waste 10 years like I did. I rented a tiny apartment in a different borough, far from the Vanderbilt mansion. Nothing fancy, but it had good sunlight. I thought about Sarah sometimes, but I didn't call. Chloe was right about one thing. All I had to offer were scars and a bank account full of blood money. 2 peaceful weeks passed. One night, taking out the trash, I spotted a familiar black Maybach parked by the curb. The window slid down. It was Chloe. She looked thinner, eyes swollen. Get in. I didn't budge. Is there something you need, Miss Vanderbilt? My father wants to see you. I frowned. For what? You'll find out when we get there. Relax. It's not what you think. I hesitated, then got in. As we neared the mansion, she spoke softly. Ethan, if I said I could change, would you believe me? I stayed silent. She laughed bitterly. Yeah, I figured. But I mean it. I've done a lot of thinking these past weeks. I know I screwed up. The car stopped. The butler waited, face serious. Miss Vanderbilt, sir, Mr. Vanderbilt is waiting for you and Mr. Kane in the study. Chloe inhaled deeply. Let's go. Whatever my father says, don't argue. Let me handle it. Inside the study, Mr. Vanderbilt sat behind a massive mahogany desk, reading a file. He looked up. Just say what you need to say, sir. He placed the file down, studying me. I hear you're resigning. Is this because of something Chloe did? I glanced at Chloe, twisting her hands. Personal reasons. I need a change. He smiled faintly. No need to be so stiff. I've seen what you've done for Chloe these past 10 years. If not for you, she'd be dead from that kidnapping last year. Our family owes you her life. He opened a drawer, pulled out a check, slid it toward me. $30 million. If it's not enough, name your price. I froze. What is this? Your compensation. Take the money and leave New York. Chloe jumped up. Dad, that's not what you promised. His face hardened. Enough. Haven't you embarrassed us enough already? Losing your mind over a bodyguard. He looked back at me, voice calmer. Ethan, you're a good man, but you and Chloe can never be together. Take the money and go. I stared at the check and almost laughed. You really think this is about money? He raised an eyebrow. What else could it be? You're not in love with my daughter, are you? Chloe's eyes lit up with hope. I shook my head. No. The light died in her eyes. Mr. Vanderbilt narrowed his gaze. Then all the more reason to take it. You gave us 10 years. You won't walk away with nothing. I picked up the check and ripped it apart. Not necessary. I'll pay the penalty myself. Goodbye. I turned to leave. Chloe ran and grabbed my arm. Ethan, don't go. I'll go with you. I don't care what my dad says. Restrain her. Mr. Vanderbilt shouted. Guards rushed in, holding Chloe back as she screamed, Let me go, Ethan. If you leave, I'll never forgive you. I walked out without looking back. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. You're cruel, Ethan. But I won't let you go. I'll find you. Chloe. I deleted it. It buzzed again. Caller ID, Sarah. I answered, but it was Chloe's voice. Ethan, why don't you want me? How am I not better than that schoolteacher? Please come back. I'll give you anything. I frowned. You're drunk. Put someone else on. She giggled. No one else is here. I'm at the Velvet Rope. Lots of guys staring at me. My gut dropped. That place was trash. Stay there. I'll call security. No. She screamed. Don't. If you don't come, I'm leaving with the next guy. The line went dead. I paced, then called her security captain. Miss Vanderbilt's at the Velvet Rope. She might be in danger. He sounded wrecked. Ethan, she fired us all today. Maybe you could. I sighed. Send the address. 10 minutes later, I was there. Chloe was passed out in a booth, guys circling like vultures. I shoved them away, threw my jacket over her. Chloe, wake up. She smiled weakly. Ethan, you came. She went limp against me. I want to go to your place. Not happening. Then a hotel. She whispered. Her eyes turned cold. Stop acting like a saint. Am I not as good as Sarah? I grabbed her shoulders. Keep this up, and I call your father. That stopped her. I took her back to the mansion. The butler smiled. Mr. Kane, you've returned. I handed her over. Take care of her. I turned, and she wrapped her arms around me. Don't go. I was wrong. I'll change. I'll give you dignity. Please. I gently removed her hands. Good night, Miss Vanderbilt. She collapsed, crying. You'll regret this. The next day, job hunting was a joke. Every interview went cold. Even a moving company rejected me. The foreman sighed. It's not us, man. It's the Vanderbilts. 2 men blocked my path. Mr. Kane, Miss Vanderbilt wants to see you. A taser flashed. They took me to a tea house. Chloe poured tea. Rare vintage. I didn't touch it. Talk. How's the job hunt? I laughed coldly. You blacklisted me. Come back. Triple salary. Car. Apartment. Only my security. I'll even apologize. Conditions? Stay away from Sarah. Never quit. I stood. Then we're done. She shattered her cup. I've never begged anyone. I opened the door. 4 guards blocked it. Sign or get carried out. I smiled. Let's see. 5 minutes later, all 4 were down. Blood on my lip. Continue, Miss Vanderbilt. She grabbed a knife, pressed it to her throat. If you leave, I'll kill myself. Blood trickled. I disarmed her. She collapsed. I cleaned the cut. You used to blow on my scrapes, she whispered. That was a long time ago. If I said I changed. I didn't answer. As I left, she said quietly, Sarah's getting married. What? Her parents took 50 grand. City Hall today. I ran. Too late. Sarah stood there, pale, beside a fat man. I shoved him aside. Ethan, what are you doing? The man yelled. Touching my wife? I looked at Sarah. You wanted a quiet life. Is this it? She cried. My mother took the money. My dad needs surgery. The man grabbed her. Let's get this over with. I grabbed his wrist. She doesn't want this. Can't you see that? He sneered, all cocky. We already paid her family 50 grand. She doesn't get a choice. Now back off. I didn't even let him finish. I just swung and hit him. Ethan, Sarah cried, grabbing my arm. I took her hand. Come with me. I'll pay the money back. I'll cover your father's surgery. She stared at me, totally stunned. How? Where would you even get that kind of money? I wiped a tear from her cheek. 10 years of selling my life. Is that enough to buy your freedom? Behind us, the man screamed, "Sarah, you walk away and I'll ruin your entire family in this city." I turned and gave him a dead-cold stare. "You touch her family, and I'll hand over evidence of Vanderbilt Corporation's tax evasion to the IRS. Let's see who gets wrecked first." He shut up instantly. I led Sarah away, and we grabbed a cab back to my apartment. She didn't say a word the whole ride. When we stood outside my building, she finally asked, "Why are you doing this for me?" "Because you said you make a killer pot roast," I said, "and I'd like to try it someday." She smiled through her tears, then got worried again. "But the Vanderbilts. First things first. I'm wiring you the $50,000 right now. Go give it back." She shook her head. "I can't take your money. I'd already finished the transfer on my phone. Just call it a loan. You can pay me back with interest." She looked at me for a long second, then stepped forward and hugged me. I gently patted her back. After she left, I stood on my balcony and spotted a black Mercedes parked in the shadows across the street. Sure enough, my phone rang. Chloe. Her voice was ice cold. Playing the hero. Was it fun? I gripped the railing. "What do you want from me?" She laughed softly. "What do I want? I gave you your chance, Ethan. Now I want you crawling back to me on your knees." The next day, the war kicked off. My bank accounts were frozen. My landlord slapped me with an eviction notice. Power and water, cut. At the bank, a sympathetic teller told me, "Mr. Kane, your account's been flagged in a money laundering investigation. It's frozen indefinitely." I knew it was the Vanderbilts. I didn't argue. I just withdrew the cash I had stashed. Suddenly, I felt drained as hell. For 10 years, my whole life had been controlled by them, like I was stuck in my own Truman Show. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Mr. Vanderbilt." "Ethan, Chloe is spoiled." "I know that. But you need to understand, you cannot win a war against my family. Go back to her, and this all disappears. He paused. "If you truly have feelings for her, I'd consider allowing it. She's my only child. One day the company will be hers, and her husband's." I laughed. "And you think that's why I protected her for 10 years? Silence. "There's no shame in ambition, son. Chloe can give you a life that schoolteacher can't even dream of." I looked out at Vanderbilt Tower dominating the skyline. "She can give me a lot of things. Just not the one thing I want most." "And what's that?" "My freedom." After a long pause, he said, "You'll regret this." After that call, I decided to leave New York. But when I tried to buy a bus ticket, the clerk frowned. "Sir, the system says you're on a no-travel list." I took a deep breath. They were choking me out. I walked outside, and the black Mercedes was waiting. The window rolled down. "Chloe, get in." I got in. "What will it take for you to just let me go?" Her eyes were badly swollen. 3 days, she said. "Just give me 3 days. After that, I swear I'll let you go. I'll leave you alone for good." I frowned. "And why should I believe you?" She handed me a legally notarized document. "It's all here. 3 days, then you're free. I'll transfer $3 million to your account as compensation." I read it. It looked legit. "Why 3 days?" She stared out the window. "My birthday's coming up. You've been there for the last 10. Just be there for the last one." I thought for a moment. "Fine. But 3 conditions. No physical contact. You don't force me to do anything. And you leave Sarah alone." A corner of her mouth lifted. "Deal." Day 1, she took me to Coney Island. We waited in line like a normal couple and rode the cyclone. She screamed like crazy and squeezed my hand so tight I thought it'd snap. She got sick afterward. I handed her water. "Why put yourself through that?" I asked. She wiped her mouth and smiled. "I always wanted to come here. My father never allowed it. Said it was too dangerous." We got ice cream. She managed to smear it all over her face. Without thinking, I wiped her chin with a napkin. She froze, eyes suddenly red. I pulled my hand back. She finished her ice cream in silence. That afternoon, on the Wonder Wheel, at the very top, she spoke. "I know I'm awful," she said quietly. "I have a bad temper. I'm unreasonable. But when you said you were leaving, I realized." Her voice cracked. "You're all I have. My parents are always working. My friends just want my money. You're the only one who cleans up my messes, waits outside my door when I have nightmares, stays all night when I'm sick." I stared at the skyline. "That was my job." She shook her head. "No. When you took that knife from me during the kidnapping last year, I knew no one else would ever do that." As the wheel descended, she asked softly, "If it weren't for Sarah, could you have liked me? Even a little?" I didn't answer until our feet hit the ground. Life doesn't do what-ifs. Day 2. She wanted self-defense training. In the gym, while I showed her a move, she suddenly wrapped her arms around me from behind. Is this how you take down the bad guy? I stiffened. Let go, Miss Vanderbilt. It's almost over, she begged. Just a second. I pried her fingers off and faced her. We had an agreement. She cried. Do you really hate me that much? If I'd had a dog for 10 years, at least it'd be happy to see me. I looked at her calmly. There it is. In your head, that's all I ever was. A dog. That's not what I meant. We're done for today, I said, grabbing a towel. She grabbed my arm. I'm sorry. I pulled free. Tomorrow's the last day. Honor the deal. Day 3. She wanted to watch the sunset at the beach. She stood on the jetty in a simple dress and smiled. I used to ask you to bring me here. You always said it was dangerous. It's beautiful, she said. We stood together as the air grew cold. She asked, in all these 10 years, did you ever see me as a woman, not just a job? I stayed silent until the sun vanished. No, not even once. In the car, she handed me a manila envelope. Everything's in there. And Sarah's father's bills are paid. That developer won't bother her family again. I was surprised. As I got out, she said, wait. I forgot something. She gave me a small velvet box. A late birthday gift. Inside was a vintage military-issue watch engraved, U.S. Army Rangers. How did you know? She smiled softly. I know everything. Your service. Your squad leader's grave. The journals. The photo under your pillow. She whispered, you're not a bodyguard. You're a hero. One I was never good enough for. She drove away. My phone buzzed. You're free now. Go marry her. The next day, everything reset. Accounts unfrozen. Apologies. 6-figure job offers. Like waking from a nightmare. At the hospital, Sarah's father had recovered. I'll pay you back, she said. No rush, I replied. She hesitated. Miss Vanderbilt hasn't bothered you. No. She came to see me, Sarah said. Crying. Said she was giving you back. Tried to give me a credit card as a wedding gift. Later, I saw Chloe again downstairs, thin and quiet. She gave Sarah a gift box. If you don't get married, I'll be disappointed. Chloe, I said, for the first time in 10 years. Visit sometime, she said. As a friend. 6 months later, at our engagement party, flowers arrived. The card read, to my hero. Be happy. She won't come in, I said. Later, I saw her leave in a black Maybach. The sun filled our apartment. From the kitchen came the smell of Sarah's pot roast. After 10 long years, I was finally free.